Oh, damn! Wow! You know, this series rightfully has a reputation for being incredibly silly and lighthearted and even oftentimes completely hilarious. But I don't think nearly enough people give the fact that this game series can honestly be like extraordinarily moody and intimidating and suspenseful when it really wants to be. That was genuinely unnerving. Massive kudos to the direction on that. Oh my god. Well, Knightley is dead. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, but still, that is concerning. I'm going to wager a guess here and say we're probably waiting for him. He's not coming. He's not coming, sir. How long does he intend to keep us waiting? Now, Mr. Edgeworth, there's no need to get your cravat in a twist. Okay, it needs to be twisted, otherwise it just falls off. Do you know nothing about wearing such an article? I swear to God. Edgeworth is on edge. Ethan Rook's murder. 2 days after the incident, we visited the detention center. Naturally, we were hoping to meet with the defendant, Horace Knightley. His trial was set to begin the next day, with me serving as the prosecutor. Because I'm the only prosecutor! Like, one of the only prosecutors who doesn't end up being either incompetent or put in prison for crimes. I mean, basically just him and Francisca, and she's not even in the country all the time. Still, he is rather late. You there! Do you know what's going on? Oh, dang, you're actually talking to the guard on the other side of the glass. Nice. Oh, it's terrible! It is Knightley! He's been murdered! What? What did you say? Murdered? Inside the detention center? Mr. Edgeworth, let's go check it out! You there! Take us to the crime scene, post haste! Yes, sir! Friendship squad, away! At least not in his cell? I thought he was being held there. What are you doing, sir? This way! Where are you taking us, pal? This door is the... it's the prison. Prison? Then what were the small rooms back there? Those cells were just the cells we just passed are part of the detention center. They're used for holding suspects temporarily while they await their trial. What lies ahead is a facility that serves a completely different purpose. This is where criminals who have been declared guilty serve out their sentence, pal. It's the one place a great thief does not want to end up, Kay. Okay, so I understand that prosecutors are given more leeway in this universe and are, allowed to investigate crime scenes and all that business. Or at the very least, Edgeworth is respected enough that people don't care that he does it. And obviously, Gumshoe has the investigative right to be around these situations. But Kay is legitimately just a civilian. So just through association, she's able to get around. I guess you could say the same thing for, like, Maya, but technically Phoenix was never supposed to be around this stuff either. So, I don't know. It's weird that this never gets brought up. Opening the door now. Please follow me. Interesting layout. Oh, yep. That's a corpse. There's no mistaking it. Knightley's dead. Moreover, he was murdered inside the prison walls. How exactly did this happen? Typically, you try to make it as hard to murder somebody inside a prison as you possibly can. It happens, obviously, the whole making a shiv thing, but generally it's supposed to not be easy. I can't believe something like this would happen to Mr. Knightley. Yes, I can't believe it either. The scene you see before you is the unmistakable reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Besides, wasn't Mr. Knightley supposed to be in the detention center? Indeed, he was. Knightley hadn't had his trial yet. Before a suspect is found guilty, they're detained in the detention center's holding cells. They only enter the prison after they've had received a guilty verdict. Knightley should not have been moved in here. Cool! We're barely a few moments into the case and there's already a mystery. Do you think he passed through, other than, the murder part, he passed through the giant doors that we went through earlier, sir? Huge metal doors and a long passageway separate the prison and the detention center. I see. Well, except for the other way to get to the prison, I guess. Interesting. As a suspect, Knightley wouldn't have been able to pass through. Well, how the heck did he get in here? What happened to Knightley? In order to solve this mystery, we must first investigate the crime scene. Investigate we shall! Alright, first things first, let's consult our supergroup. Okay, you're wise, in a way. What up? Tell me about the prison, or your feelings towards it, or you just tell me. I don't know, doesn't matter, just talk to me. So this is what a prison is like. It's been very educational. You're more enthusiastic than I am at gathering information. Mr. Edgeworth, you need to work harder at gathering information. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble when the time comes. I don't think the time you're talking about will ever come. But I do need to gather more information. In order to complete my logic and catch the killer, as that is how I am known to do. Actually, I never got a chance to do this. Hang on a second. Let me just quickly present my badge to you. That's a really cool badge. It depicts a blazing sun on top of winter forest, or of winter frost, right? Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Yes, it symbolizes the severity of the criminal justice system. Blech. My badge has symbols too. It symbolizes love and justice, and peace and courage, and honor and kindness. That's right, all 6. What happened to truth? There we go. All right. Ill-fitting for the situation, perhaps, but I still made my decision. All right, Gumshoe. What have you got to think about this entire situation? Yes, sir. He was arrested on the afternoon of the 25th and was killed on the morning of the 27th. I never expected the criminal to become the victim, sir. Yes, it doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth. Then again, most things don't. Maybe the killer killed Knightley? He couldn't let anyone who had seen his true identity live. Or something like that. That would mean he would be going to murder all of us then, wouldn't it? Are you talking about Shelley the Killer? No, I'm talking about Marvin the Killer, his brother. Of course he is, Edgeworth! Who's talking obvious talking points now? If he was the killer, then he would have left his calling card behind. And besides, didn't we also see his true identity as well? That's right. We're still alive, sir. Still, to commit murder in such a place is not an easy task. How did the criminal murder Knightley? We gon' find out sooner or later. It's nice that the prison and the detention center are connected, sir. As they both get to share the visitor's room, it's actually quite convenient. Well, it is an unusual design, but it is convenient for the visitors. Why do the detention center and the prison need to be separated in the first place, sir? The suspects go in the detention center, while the convicts go in the prison. They might seem similar, but they are actually 2 completely different facilities. I mean, put into the detention center, I mean, we've seen so many innocent people get put into the detention center. It's actually probably a really good thing that they can't get into the prison. Those cramped, dark, and uncomfortable cells all seem the same to me, sir. If you're still having trouble understanding the differences, why don't you step inside one? I think I'll pass, sir. That don't sound exactly too appealing. All right, well, obviously the body is something worth looking at, but I am kind of curious about what the heck this whole situation is about. What is this? We won't rest until we've stolen every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Okay, you done took the line and made it all about your styles. That's adorable. Indeed. This is quite a large area to investigate. Press Y button to switch screens. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Considering Edgeworth thinks that rather than says that aloud, it's impressive that Kay even knew to say that. All right, well, I am curious what this thing is. What's with the hook? It's a pulley. Is that used for prison labor too? It looks like it. There's something I want to ask you. Don't even think about dangling on the hook. How did you know that's what I wanted to do? You're not exactly subtle, okay? Somehow I had a feeling. Seems to be the only thing, really. It's a cage inside the cage that is the prison. It's like Cageception. Cageception actually sounds like a parody film starring Johnny Cage. I believe the correct term is prison cell. They're the same thing. You need to look more at the essence of things. Actually, it's more important to get the correct information. You don't want these things incorrect. Anyway, I'm noticing a whip on the floor. Those are some colorful sheets. Not exactly what I was looking at, but noted. Very colorful and stands out in the room. What are they used for? We may never know. They're the most eye-catching thing in this room. I don't know, honestly, I feel like the whip is a bit more noteworthy. I don't fit in with the prison. There's a whip placed on top of the sheets. It reminds me of the whip lady, Francisca! Man, I hope we get to see her again. Maybe she left her whip here? I doubt she'd ever leave her whip behind, unless she's got multiples. I could easily see her being the type of gal like, oh, so you think you've disarmed me? Yatta! And then she just busts out another one. that sounds so much like her. All right, well, what about this coil of rope? There's a rope near the body as well. By the way, my special talent. If it's about rope escapes, there's no need for that now. Aw. Does she want to show it off that badly? I mean, escape artistry is really cool to watch if you know what it's all about, you know? That's just my personal feelings. No, he's just talking about the pulley again. Alrighty, I just thought it might be a little bit different. You never know, you never know. All right, so really the only thing of note that we got from that was just the sheets, huh? All right, can I look at this mess? There are a bunch of strange tools here. I don't see anything out of place. I'm kind of picking up the scent of animals. Do you have special smelling abilities or something? I don't know, I'm a freaking ninja. No, it's just a feeling that I can smell the scent of treasure. Remind me to lock up all of my valuables in a safe. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, I wouldn't steal your valuables. So you would steal someone else's valuables? Well, yes, of course, but you and she are friends, you see. There's a difference. It's just basic common courtesy. All right, let's take a poking around at this here corpse. Horace Knightley, murdered right before his trial. I mean, he was probably gonna go in prison for like up to 20 to 40 years anyway. But still, unfortunate that. Are really not, he's a murderer. Whatever, point is he's dead, let's poke at him. All right, so I feel like, there's actually a fair few things. There's that sheet again, rope, this. But I'm always gonna start with, what appears to be the murder wound. Ugh. The blood from his neck has stained his brace bright red. The cause of death was most likely from his neck wound. He probably died instantly. He couldn't even cry out in pain. There are small bumps on his head. Are these bruises? Maybe after he was stabbed in the neck, he fell back and hit his head? I wonder. At this point in time, there are too many unknowns. I just want to very quickly, as an aside, give credit to Gumshoe for a bit. Anyone else notice that he's just kind of been, at least so far at least, a whole lot more competent than normal? Like, he's never been an entirely incompetent individual. I mean, I know that, but the joke is, he would say and do occasional blunderous things. Quite frankly, that's a perfectly understandable deduction to make. I feel like he's really been putting his A game on things, and I want him to know that I've been noticing. Okay, do you have your digital camera with you? And I'd like the detective to take a photo of the body. Would you let him borrow it? Sure thing. Here, Gummy. Thanks, pal. All right, taking the picture, sir. It's going in the scary book. Still, he's wearing some awfully dirty clothes. There appears to be dirt stains in several places. I also noticed a dirty, I don't even know what that is, like a gardening glove? He's wearing those clothes even though they're dirty. He's just like me, sir. Detective, I hope you realize that not everyone shares your lack of hygiene. Also, I feel like you probably just don't have the ability to do your laundry very often. All right, well, the glove is interesting to me. This is a rubber glove. Yeah, there's no mistake. It's a rubber glove. How come there's only one? Let me take a closer look. All right. Anything to note of all this yet? Oh, I'm actually noticing some red behind there. It's covered in mud, up to the wrist. Maybe someone was playing with mud in the prison? I want to get on the action too. Do it on your own time when we're not investigating a case. Also, are you in kindergarten? Interesting. Hang on, let me just... There we go. Oh, hang on. What's that say? For inmate use. That must mean... a prisoner use this glove? Yes, that's what I was thinking. Interesting. Also, big pile of blood. Hello. There's also a left glove. The fingers of the glove are covered in... assuming... I mean, I guess it... I think that means it's a left glove. I'm pretty sure. The fingers of this glove are covered in blood. This glove was dropped after the pool of blood formed. Eh? Why is that? If it was on the floor before the pool of blood had formed, the blood would have formed an outline around the glove. Ah, I see. The blood would have only gotten on the edges of the glove. Well, I mean, I suppose if it was just kind of laying there long enough, it would have eventually seeped. But yeah, that's a good enough guess. The glove was discarded after it was covered in blood. That must mean the killer left it behind. Indeed, it's highly probable. At the very least, the person who dropped this saw the body. That much we can be absolutely certain of. You there! Yeah. What is it, sir? Do you recognize this glove? Yes, sir. The inmates use these for prison labor. That's odd. Rubber gloves are usually kept in the inmates' rooms. They are strictly regulated, so you can't just take them out. Indeed. There are no signs of any rubber gloves in the room. Interesting. Other rubber gloves, in addition. All right, then. Next up is this here thing. Huh? What's this? Mr. Edgeworth has something similar in his office. It's a portable chessboard. It was probably the victim's. Ah, Mr. Knightley enjoyed chess, right? You could kind of tell by his everything. He was probably using it. He was probably using it to pass time in the detention center. Is he allowed to have stuff like that in the detention center? All right, and what about all this mess? I guess it's possible. I mean, just from all the dirt and the rope, I assume he might have gotten like tied up inside that thing and got dumped here. So I don't know if this is actually the room he got murdered in. He's covered with a dirty sheet. There's a rope on top of the sheet. Was Knightley tied up with this rope? Certainly seems possible. Let's take a look onto the sheet. We might be able to find something. Yeah. Yikes! The sheet is bright red. These appear to be bloodstains. Well, it sure as heck ain't ragu. We still might be able to find something. Let's search this area a little more closely. Well, I'm noticing that his legs don't appear to be damaged in any capacity, so that really does just add to my currently running theory of him being tied up inside the sheet and either carried or dragged around. Kind of hard to say. Although I do now have myself some logic. As if this wasn't blisteringly obvious, but sometimes these things tend to end up being that. I'm wondering if maybe these have a connection. Possibly. Who knows, eh? Yeah, let's find out. The sheets stacked here have a very distinctive pattern. It's the same as the bloodstained sheet. That's right. Okay, don't steal my lines like that. It was pretty obvious. Mr. Edgeworth, you shouldn't get caught off guard like that. I'll never lose my edge as the great thief. I thought she was on hiatus. And also, how do you go on hiatus from a job you've never officially been on? Let's see, anything else? I did not mean to do that. I was trying to, I clicked the touch screen to move the thingy-madoo over on over. We're open a bloody sheet. There might be something else. Yes, let me check this area again in case I overlooked something. Yeah, I noticed there's a thing in a dang hand. There's something on his finger. Let's have a closer look. Huh, it looks like an expensive ring. I can't tell if he's wearing it or holding it. I think he's wearing it. Don't steal it. But I didn't do anything yet. Yeah, yet being the operative word though. Well, we've collected quite a bit of evidence. With the three of us here, it's a piece of cake. Right, Gummy? That's right, pal. We're the invincible trio. It's too early to start celebrating. There's still something we haven't found yet. I mean, there's a lot of things, actually. What haven't we found yet, sir? What is missing from this crime scene? Bloodstains, footprints, or the murder weapon? Okay, well, there are bloodstains. Footprints aren't always a guarantee in most cases. And there's the murder weapon. Honestly, I was gonna go with the murderer, and that was probably why we shouldn't celebrate yet, because we didn't have that going for us. Anyway, the murder weapon that took the victim's life has not been found yet. Ah! Now that you mention it, you're absolutely right, sir. Detective Smug. Get your act together. Isn't that the most basic of the basics? Sorry, sir. I was just bolstered and feeling really good because Kay's enthusiasm is so godly infectious. Come on, you get it. Don't worry about it, Gummy. I didn't notice it either. It's not much of a consolation. Again, considering he's a detective and you're a civilian. Yeah. In this prison, dangerous objects that could be used as weapons are strictly regulated. Man, that just reminds me of like one of my favorite episodes of Mythbusters, where they were like, can you make a functioning crossbow out of objects that you could realistically obtain from a prison? And the answer was yes. That was crazy. Why you'd go through so much trouble to make a damn crossbow, I don't know, but they showed you could. It'd be quite dangerous if the inmates got their hands on them. Obtaining a murder weapon and carrying it around is not an easy task. Yeah, but imagine you gotta get patted down after going into every room. I see. You have a point. What was the murder weapon? And where did it go? And where did it come from? You can finish the joke there. That could be the key to solving this case. Who goeth there? Huh? There are visitors here already? Hello there. Sorry to barge in like this. Is this the crime scene? You're... Huh? You? Aren't you? That piercing gaze. That furrowed brow. It's been a long time, Mr. Shields. Yes, that frilly thing around your neck and that stiff greeting. There's no doubt about it. Prosecutor Manfred von Karma? Fancy meeting you here. How would you make that mistake? They don't look anything alike. What are you saying, pal? Mr. Edgeworth's not that old man. Detective, it's fine. Oh, it's you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I thought you looked a bit young. You two are so similar. Looks like your Uncle Ray got you two mixed up again. You never change. How many years has it been since we last saw each other? I've already forgotten. Your Uncle Ray has been overseas these past few years. How literal should I be taking the uncle and Uncle Ray? But you know, there's something I still haven't forgotten about you and your betrayal. Oh. I'm getting some bad vibes over here. Do you know this guy, Mr. Edgeworth? I feel like you could probably infer the answer to that one yourself. Allow me to introduce him to you. Raymond Shields, attorney at law. Ace attorney Ray Shields at your service. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. Kay Faraday, nice to meet you. I'm a great thief. But I'm currently on hiatus. Great thief. Well, that sounds romantic. How wonderful. Oh, Mr. Shields, you get it, right? I'm currently recruiting new members. The registration forms are easy to fill out. That's splendid. Uncle Ray would love to join your little gang. I'm sorry, but we're only accepting bright, cheerful, and energetic girls, which is like 96% of the female population in the Ace Attorney franchise. I see. That's too bad. How about a hug then? As a sign of affection. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you probably shouldn't do that, okay? No. I guess not. This isn't Europe after all. Alright, that's a weird thing to ask someone you just met. And I'm a person who enjoys a good hug. But no, you just don't do that. Mr. Shields, what are you doing here? That's right. Sorry. Preventing the attorney from investigating the crime scene is the Von Karma way, isn't it? We weren't preventing you from doing that? Also, we're holding it. Hey! You've been going on about Von Karma this and Von Karma that. What's your problem, pal? I mean, to be fair, he's only literally brought him up twice, but it has been in rapid succession. Detective! Restrain yourself. This can't be helped. The fact that Edgeworth is just kind of letting this go is a bit concerning. I am curious about the backstory here. Mr. Shields, are you the defense attorney for Horace Knightley? That's right. Or should I say, I was his defense attorney. I don't know if you're using air quotes right. Just throwing that out there. Mr. Shields, the defense attorney. If Knightley had not been murdered, I would have been going up against him in court. But then again, you know, Knightley was blisteringly, obviously, you know, guilty, so you probably would have been okay. And I should listen to what he has to say. If he hadn't been, then I obviously wouldn't have cared, I guess. What's up? You got anything new to say? You do not. All right, had to check. All right, let's talk about it. What the heck is a defense attorney anyway? I know what it's a joke. Since you received the request to represent the victim, that must mean, yeah, your Uncle Ray was supposed to meet with Knightley Boy. As was I. I had planned to meet with him, but then he heard the report of the dead body. Ew, what you gonna do? I even brought him a California roll. But why? Mr. Shields, you can't bring food into the detention center. Is that right? Well then, would you like it? Would I like day-old sushi kept in your pocket? No, I'm gonna go ahead and say no. No thanks. Huh. Still, to think that Prosecutor Edgeworth actually meets with the defendants. All defendants are guilty. Wasn't that the Von Karma way? Okay, that makes 3 times you've done this. Now I'm starting to believe that Gumshoe was right to call you out. Could you knock that off? That is a thing of the past. Is that right? So, you sure you don't want it? I told you I don't want your rank-ass sushi! Good lord, sir. Did you meet with Knightley? We met yesterday. Again, the air quotes implies you're being sarcastic or facetious, so did you or did you not? They called me over as soon as Knightley Boy was arrested. He was being quite hostile. Oh yeah, he mentioned you. He talked about how you interfered with his plans. He probably said some nasty things about me. Even if he hates me, I'm fine with it. I mean, whatever. And the two of us had a great time talking about you. What did Edgeworth do to piss this guy off so much? Mr. Shields also talked about me. I frequent the visitor's room here quite often. It's been a while since I had such a good time. So you're a regular at this prison. Hey now, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not here as an inmate, just as an enthusiast, I guess. I'm here to visit an old acquaintance of mine. We usually meet in the visitor's room, but I've also been in here before. Then I should ask him about this room. Yeah, what is this place anyway? This room was where the body was found. Do you know anything about it? Ah, this room, eh? Here's a pop quiz for our prodigy prosecutor. Which of these 3 is the name of the room? The lecture room, the morgue, the entertainment room? There's a dirt pile, a pulley, sheets, a rope, a cage, a couple tables with bottles on it. I mean, it's not a morgue. There are no places for body keeping. And I can't imagine what universe this would be an entertainment room in. I guess that's my best guess. The lecture room? So they tied up Knightley Boy and lectured him to death? As expected of Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sure have an eye for the details. I'm sensing a degree of sarcasm in your words. Ah, let's reveal the correct answer. Prosecutor Edgeworth's answer is... wrong. The correct answer is the workroom. That wasn't an answer I could pick. All 3 choices were wrong. I hate it when he does that. All right, well, I may have gotten it wrong, but I also didn't have a choice. The inmates carry out various kinds of prison labor in here. It also serves as a rehab program, allowing them to receive job training in prison. So, how do they monitor this room? Who's in charge of the keys to the entrance? Prosecutor Edgeworth. Even your Uncle Ray doesn't have all the answers. Then what good are ye? Hey, you there. Could you tell us? Yes, sir. This room doesn't use any locks and keys. Instead of locks, the doors are equipped with sensors. Well, what do you mean by that? All of the prison inmates are wearing electronic bracelets. When a bracelet passes through the door, it activates the sensor and... Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. It was an underrated console, everybody. People give it so much crap, but I loved that thing. An alarm will sound. After a certain amount of time has passed, the bracelet will emit a painful shock. And if the bracelets are tampered with, it'll emit an electric shock 3 times more powerful. Yeah, that's terrifying. Well, then don't be an inmate, I guess. It's to ensure that the inmates follow the rules, although it seems a bit harsh. That's why whenever an inmate goes to a door, a guard has to accompany them to deactivate the sensor first. Ah, okay, so if they try to go somewhere of their own free will, it'll get activated. So, but if a guard is there, they can turn off the sensor before they end up getting shocked. And that's that. Did any of the inmates use this workroom today? In the past few days, no one has used this room. I'm sure of it. Well, that's interesting. So not one inmate has entered this room today. Also, I don't think, yeah, Knightley wasn't an inmate, so he didn't have one of those bracelets. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. If that's the case... Oh! It raises a contradiction with the crime scene. If no inmates have... Yeah, okay, I gotcha. There's something in this crime scene that should not exist. Alright, I will use my powers of deduction and inspect the crime scene again. As that is how I do. Alright, enough of you, Mr. Curly Hair. Alright, hang on. Let me take a gander at this here corpse again. As I am known to do. Yep. Them nooks and crannies are gonna be inspected so hard right now. Alright. If no inmates have been in here for days, well then it would, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, well then maybe this got dropped like way earlier, but no, that's why there's blood on it. So that absolutely positively was dropped by an inmate very recently. Gotcha. Door sensor! Eureka! What you gonna do about it? The inmates cannot freely enter this room, as they're wearing bracelets that set off the sensors. According to the guard, it seems that no inmates were scheduled to enter this room today. If only inmates can get the gloves, then that stands to reason. However, a rubber glove used by the inmates was left in here. That is a direct contradiction. Then, who left this rubber glove in here, sir? I don't know. Yet. Oh, actually, no. It just means an inmate didn't walk in here. That doesn't mean anybody who wasn't an inmate couldn't have walked in here and murdered him. That's worth making note of. However, it seems that this rubber glove is connected to our case. If that weren't obvious already, the investigation has been completed. God, aside from the inmates and prison guards, does anyone else have access to this room? Well, this is a prison facility after all. Only inmates and prison guards come here. But conceivably, could people higher up on the food chain come in here? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Mr. Shields? What are you saying? There are others that come in here. Aside from inmates and prison guards, there are certain things that can enter this room. Are you talking about them? But they're... Mr. Shields, what are these things that you speak of? Don't you dare even start bringing up the fangs. Should be obvious. Came all the way here without seeing one, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Usually you can find them walking around the prison facility. Well, you'll see once you leave this room, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Hey, you're just saying that to get Mr. Edgeworth to leave, pal. What now? Don't you trust me? Not especially, no. Mr. Detective, you have a big body, but a small mind. Just because it's true doesn't mean you should say it. That's mean. Gumshoe's a nice guy. What did you say, pal? Detective Gumshoe! Sorry, sir. Come on, follow me. I'll show you what Uncle Ray has been talking about. Looks like we don't really have much of a choice in the matter. Walking around like freaking Lupin the Third. Alright, what are we looking for here? This place is a little different from your normal prison. There are more than just the prisoners and guards living here. A cat, a pig, a monkey, a bunny, and a whole-ass pony. I guess it could be a miniature horse, not a pony. A lot of people think that those are the same thing, but they're actually not. What is up with this, though? Hello. Animals? Yep, animals. According to the guard, they introduced animal therapy here several years ago. Yeah, but a monkey? Each prisoner is assigned what... Actually, it doesn't have a tail. It'd be an ape. Is assigned what animal? In other words, they receive a pet partner. Huh. That seems kind of fun. Plus, learning to take care of their pet is a great qualification to have. Oh, so you mean that workroom? Are you telling me that an animal murdered him? Then again, I guess we did see a dog not that long ago. In the opening cutscene. But okay, I mean, that's not true. I have heard of, I've never bore witness to, but dogs going for the throat. But I feel like we would have been able to see much more of a damage if it was a dog bite to the throat that killed Knightley. That's just my idea. Yep, that's where the prisoners practice taking care of their pets. So then the thing you mentioned that could enter the crime scene is, right, these animals. But that doesn't make any sense, pal. Why would an animal leave behind a rubber glove? Quite right. But the fact remains that they could have entered the crime scene. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please talk some sense into this man? Mr. Shields, are the animals allowed to go wherever they please? Most of the doors in this prison are fitted with sensors. The sensors not only sound an alarm in response to the prisoner's bracelets, they also respond to the animal's microchip and open the doors for them. Microchip? It's a pretty common practice. It's like a tiny machine embedded under the animal's skin. All it takes is a simple injection, and the microchip is inserted. What? That sounds painful. It's actually not. I've heard it's not that painful. But anyway, since no more painful than just getting a shot. Since the animals aren't criminals, they're allowed to move around freely. But what if they were criminals? How ironic. The ones with the most freedom in this prison are the animals. Very, very odd prison, not gonna lie. But still, they can't go out of the prison. The prison's entrance does not have a sensor. Oh? I just heard a ting-ting, much like the ting-ting at the beginning of the thing. What's that? Is that a bell? What's that? It's some kind of bork. Dear God, are you the murder dog? What's this? This dog? There's a bell on its collar. Was this the sound that we heard earlier? I don't much care for this creature. It creeps me out slightly. Ah! Oh God! Oh Lord! Oh Jesus! And that's why Edgeworth did not much care for that dog. Mr. Edgeworth, why are you glaring at each other? I mustn't lose. Are you getting into a staring contest with a dog? Mr. Edgeworth, you're not good with dogs, are you, sir? Relatable. I'll tame that dog myself. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Be good dog. All right, well, I'm sure that definitely didn't have anything to do with anything. You completely ignored me, sir. Compared to the other animals, there's something different about this one. And I ain't just talking about the bell. That's something a great hostility towards me only. Oh, then it's probably the pet partner of somebody who Edgeworth put away, if I'm being honest. Oh, now that I've introduced you to the animals, what's next on the agenda? Of course, we question those related to the case, pal. Yes, we should gather information about the state of things when the body was discovered. I'll start with you in that cell. Tell us what you know. This random guy in a random cell? Why? Okay. He's completely ignoring me, sir. You there. Do you know anything about the incident? He's scary. She's activated pout mode. Don't be so cold. Come on, you can talk to us. Or how about an introductory hug? The hug offer seems to have worked. It's time. What was that? It's time? Time for what? Time for hugs? Oh no! Sorry, was Uncle's Ray's joke a little too much? That a polar bear? Exercise time. This man is clearly odd! Then again, 98% of everybody in this universe are, so come on. I need to get some answers from him. Your name is? Me? I'm prisoner number D259. Jailbird. Okay! Gotta raise my metabolism. I can't let my muscles rest. Why do you have a polar bear? Muscles aside, it looks like you've lost a lot of weight. Half of the match is won even before it has begun. Yeah, gotta make the weight limit. Are you entering some kind of tournament? Perhaps as a boxer? Yeah, I'm a former boxer, but exercise is just a hobby of mine. Well then, it sure looks like it's the bear's hobby too. He's hanging on like an apron. So cute. This is Rocky the polar bear. He's my partner. Polar bears aren't, like, they need to be in like Arctic climates. It's not a good thing for this to, All right. My knowledge of animals makes fiction weird sometimes. He's loosened his tongue. Maybe we can try asking him now. Where were you and Rocky at the time of the incident? I don't know anything. I got nothing to say to you. Well, that's for me to decide. Now answer the question. Didn't I just tell you? I know nothing. He has no intention of talking. Am I gonna be playing logic chess with this lad? In that case, you've got no choice but to use that. Yes, if it insists he has nothing to do with this, we'll just have to prove there's a connection. Mr. Elbird, by all means, you will tell us what you know. No, I won't. Can't stop, won't stop. Ah, but the finger waggles are coming out. Ain't nothing to be done at that point. Now, let's analyze the situation. Oh boy, here we go. A fighting stance. It seems that he has become agitated. In these circumstances, a direct confrontation would be pointless. When my opponent becomes agitated, I should calmly wait and see. Yeah, but the one time I thought that I was doing that correctly, I ended up doing it incorrectly. All right, let's focus. Gotta do better than the last one. When I see an opening, I will not hold back. All right, well, first thing I know for certain is that he said that an opening statement is super important, so let's not start with wait and see. Let's see if that works. Now, let's question him about his knowledge of the incident. To start with, I'll ask about his movements today. I'll have to tire him out before the sound of the bell. Boxing metaphors in my chess? What did you do today? I didn't even have a choice in waiting and seeing. Can you tell me what you have done today? Nope. Answer me! Heh! If you want to fight with me, get into your fighting stance. I kind of want to see that. I'll show you my straight right. No, that's definitely a wait and see moment. What? Are you throwing in the towel already? This is not a fist fight. Welcome to the war that is chess. I can already tell you the one really solid reason why Edgeworth wouldn't want to get into a fist fight. He doesn't have a great, track record with those. Regardless, welcome to the war that is chess. By the way, hasn't all that moving around tired you out? Don't underestimate my stamina. You want to test me? With that body of yours? No? No, I'm gonna go ahead and say no to that. I ain't tired at all. Well, first off, I held back in my training today, and I just stayed quietly in my cell. Quietly? Then what's with all the sweat? Buzz off. I mean, he could just be a naturally very sweaty individual. I say that as one. It's a truly miserable existence, I assure you all. That's all I've got to say. I'm getting a little tired. Oh, hey, ho, he's saying getting tired now. There you go. And for the record, you can exercise quietly. That is a thing. Anyway, I can attack with that. You're a well-trained boxer. However, you need more practice in the art of lying. Getting a little tired? That's not possible. You said that you stayed quietly in your cell just a moment ago. Again, I mean, it worked, but still, I personally feel as if you could still do it quietly, but that's just me. Rocky, looks like this is gonna be a tough opponent. Ah, he's dropping the weights! He's moving faster now! This man, looks like he's still hiding something. Oh, dearie me. All right, next I'll ask him about the time of the incident. I got my time back! I do not need to use fists. My words alone are enough for a KO. You know, it's hilarious because it's actually true in this universe. What were you doing at the time? Did you notice anything? What were you doing at the time of the incident? That's what we were told that we wanted to find out. Do you recall what you were doing at the time of the incident? Sleeping. Rocky was too. The incident happened just a few moments ago. You look wide awake to me. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do about it? That was a shifty-ass look, though, let me tell you. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say wait and see on that one. Bellowing for him to answer me isn't gonna do a whole lot for nobody. Muscles strengthen while they're resting. Sleep is important. Well then, I'm sorry to have woken you. Rest is a part of training, right? Oh. So you get it after all. Not bad, Mr. Prosecutor. How did you know I'm a prosecutor? That's interesting. Oh. I don't recall ever introducing myself as a prosecutor. How did you know? That's a conversation we had when we first entered this room. Were you by any chance eavesdropping on us? In that case, there's no way you could have been asleep. You lied to us! After all we've been through! You got me there. Back a nice punch, verbally. Yeah, I lied about sleeping. So what? I was just exercising in this room. You got a problem with that? I'll punch you! Well, I know now he was awake. I should remember this clue. Oh, back up here. Well, then did you notice anything? You were awake, so there you go. When the incident occurred, did you notice anything unusual about the prison? I'm gonna go ahead and say, answer the question. Answer the question! What was the situation like at the time of the incident? Matenga! Was that good or not? Sorry, but I got no answers for you. I was asleep then. Rocky was too. But let's try using that clue. Yeah, you just... I shall toss it, my horsey at thee! Stop telling such an obvious lie. Didn't you admit it earlier? You were exercising. Watanga! Wow, that is one powerful queen. Say, looks like I just ate a counter. Your back's against the ropes and there's no way out. Just confess already. Hey, quiet down a bit. If outsiders like you make a racket, you'll frighten the animals again. Again? What do you mean by again? Something frightened the animals? You've been persistent. However, I'm afraid you're about to hit the mat. You said again just now. Did something happen earlier? To frighten the animals? Hey! Bargain, bargain. Damn it. How could I have gotten sucker punched like that? Yeah. There was this great scream back then. It startled the animals. Dang, I would have never have lost in a real ring. Oh, I have no doubt of that. Checkmate. Good thing you're behind a bunch of iron bars. That would have been a bit of a problem. And you get the smug. I believe this proves that you do know something about the case. Damn. Okay, I'll talk. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Ain't no shocks there. Don't lose focus, Kay. The real game has just begun. Now I gotta do the whole contradictory thingies. Oh, who's holding it? Oh, now what? Let's just stop for a moment. Uncle Ray's got one important thing to say. It must be fate that has brought us together after all these years. That's such a condescending clap. I've received the opportunity to observe your skills carefully, and I'll be giving a detailed report to that person about how much you've grown. That person? Who is that person? You didn't know? The truth is, this doesn't concern Kay. She doesn't need to know. Whoa there, you scared me. Don't get so worked up. You can do what you like. Doesn't matter to me. Now, you have been leading your life ever since you were tainted by the Von Karma way. I'm sure that person would be interested. I feel that it's my duty to report it to him. I'll expose your mistakes here. I won't let you disappoint him any further. Mr. Edgeworth, just what are you guys talking about? Don't concern yourself with it. Our only opponent now is Elbert. Well, that's a fairly decent amount of intrigue.